A lovely afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide today. We are live in Abuja. I am Ogochkuka Ona. President Bola Tinubu has received first brief from the newly appointed management of the National Sports Commission, led by the chairman, Shehu Diko. In the recent realignment of his administration's structures, President Tinubu scrapped the Ministry of Sports, designating the National Sports Commission to play the roles of the defunct ministry. Chairman of the commission, Shehu Diko, and his team presented their immediate strategies and action plan to the president. These include plans to create sports economy, infrastructural development, the National Sports Festival, while also asking the president to declare sports as a national asset to be backed with necessary legislative work for proper development.
You see, the foundation of what we are going to do rests on like three pillars. You know, because we are to turn around the entire ecosystem of sports in Nigeria to do things differently. We have what we call the 3 R's. That we have to reset our thinking. You know, to reset our thinking, and we have to refocus what we are doing, and we have to relaunch the sports in this country. Resetting our thinking, meaning that Nigeria has been focused more on competitions for many years, which we see competitions and foreign trips and everything as consumption. We have to go back to development, which is production. We have to make sure that the internal ecosystem of sports work. So that is the new things we are trying to do differently.
The team also discussed the issues surrounding appointments of a substantive coach for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as well as efforts for World Cup qualification. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, wants state governments to give maximum support to the Ministries of Information at the sub-national to boost the collective efforts of fast-tracking public engagement and national reorientation. This was at the 48th National Council of Information and National Orientation with the theme, Enhancing Public Information Management for Inclusive Governance, the Renewed Hope Agenda in Focus. We'll bring you details of this report in our subsequent bulletin. And now for another good news. No cause for alarm, the exact words of the National Assembly as it assures Nigerians of prompt payment of retirement benefits at the end of their service to the nation. Senate Committee on Establishments and Public Service relayed this message during an oversight visit to the National Pension Commission. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
From across the country indicates that some retirees are expressing concern over delays in receiving retirement benefits after 35 years of service. This visit by the Senate Committee on Establishment is to address the anomalies and find a way out.
To effectively discharge its duties, PENCOM must have a robust IT infrastructure in place. This is crucial for efficient data and information management, accurate record keeping, and timely reporting.
The number one challenge we face today is the delay in payment of accrued rights. And whilst 44 billion was released 2 weeks ago, that has only been sufficient to clear 6 months of backlog because we were owing from March last year. But with the release of 44 billion, we've been able to clear 6 months of outstanding obligation to retirees, meaning that we still have outstanding obligations from October 2023 to date, which is unpaid. So we would appreciate your support in this regard.
Members of the committee raised some fundamental questions on the Commission's nominal role, accrued rights, as well as welfare of retirees, among other issues. Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to The former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, in the sum of 500 million naira with two sureties in like sum. Justice Emeka Nwite gave the order after the arraignment of Yahaya Bello before the court. The ruling on Bello's bail application came after the former governor pleaded not guilty to the 19-count charge brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The former Kogi State governor, who was once declared wanted by the Anti-Graft Commission, is facing an alleged money laundering trial to the tune of 80 billion naira. After the defendant had taken his plea, his counsel, Joseph Daudu, SAN, made clarifications on the reasons the defendant had not been in court during the previous hearings. After the argument of the bail application, which was not opposed by the prosecution counsel, the court granted bail to defendants with two sureties. And sureties must be landed property owners within the jurisdiction of this court. The defendant was also asked to submit his international passport while he would remain at the Kuje Correctional Center pending the perfection of the bail conditions. Recall that the ex-governor was earlier remanded in a fresh 110 billion naira charge by the EFCC pending his bail application. The court thereafter adjourned to February 24, 2025 for continuation of the matter. Nigeria is actively pursuing a domestically developed strategy to enhance its national food production and is seeking partnerships with international organizations to tackle various challenges. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security made this known while hosting representatives from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture in Abuja. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
Bernard Van Looy represents the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, while Christian Wheat is affiliated with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They are in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security for discussion regarding agricultural support initiatives aimed at enhancing Nigeria's food production. The IITA representative emphasized the importance of Nigeria participating in the West Africa Soil Hub to improve fertilizer administration and management effectively. Meanwhile, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation advocates for institutions, including farmers, to explore the potential of adopting artificial intelligence, AI, in agricultural practices. Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, emphasized the importance of prioritizing Nigeria in IITA's agenda, highlighting the long-standing relationship between the country and the institution in terms of soil management and fertilizer application. The minister noted that reforms are currently underway to map and assess the quality of agricultural lands across the nation.
If we bring in the National Soil Lab, when these laboratories are put into their best, I think we will do a lot more good to supporting what we're doing as a nation, but most importantly, to keep in strongly as a field hub or sub-hub to what IIT is going to happen.
Consequently, the visiting representatives committed their institutions to support the government's initiative in reaching these objectives. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, has been recognized as the Ambassador of Nano, Micro and Small Enterprises for the year 2024. The award was conferred on him by the Association of Cottage Industrialists of Nigeria during a courtesy call by the association's members, led by the National Executive Secretary, Oluwasegun Mulemora. They were received by the Executive Director, Special Duties, Aliyu Ibrahim.
Presentations of Leadership Award to the DG of NTA as Ambassador of Nano, Micro and Small Enterprise. As we are preparing for a national conference by June 25 to 26. We want NTA to work collaboration with us in that aspect. We want to be organizing trade fair together in collaboration with NTA.
The Director General of NTA expressed his gratitude for the recognition and pledged that NTA would partner with the association to promote nano, small and medium enterprises.
So we, the entire members of the family of NTA, will appreciate you. And NTA is going to partner with this organization because we believe in any organization that believes on economic revolution.
The recent boat tragedy in Kogi State, which claimed the lives of traders traveling to Niger State, has once again raised concerns about the safety of Nigeria's waterways. With the festive season approaching and more people expected to rely on water transport, Jonathan Omajali in this report takes a look at the urgent need for strict compliance with regulations by boat operators and passengers.
Deep season approaching. The agrarian village of Kupa Ebe in Lokoja local government area should have been preparing for a celebratory period. Instead, a somber mood continues to envelop the community as most visitors arrive with condolences rather than festive cheer. The tragic death of 27 passengers on their way to Kacha Market in neighboring Niger State is still very fresh in the minds of the people. In the early hours of November 29, a boat carrying about 200 passengers capsized, throwing the community into mourning. Boat accidents of this magnitude have often been linked to overcrowding and poorly maintained vessels, many of which are locally constructed and overloaded in violation of safety regulations.
This tragedy serves as a painful reminder of the recurrent boat accidents across the country, many of which are preventable.
It's very unfortunate losing the lives of our citizens under careless conditions. A lot of measures are to be put into place to prevent future occurrences.
A special grace of God, we put more effort to see how we get more life jackets for our people.
Federal government is not relaxing. We are still making arrangements to bring more life jackets this year.
This latest tragedy underscores the urgent need for authorities to implement stricter safety measures and enforce regulations to prevent such avoidable losses of life on the waterways. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
We now go live to Jonathan Omajali in Lokoja for more on this. Okay, Jonathan, you are there. So the recent incident is a reminder for stakeholders to take swift action. And from your reports, we see some of them promising to implement measures to prevent future mishaps. So what steps are authorities taking to address this recurring issue?
Yes, good evening, Ogochukwu. Just about a week before the recent tragedy, the House Committee on NIWA was in Lokoja, the headquarters of NIWA. And part of the discussion majorly was on boat mishap on Nigerian waterways. And of course, the NIWA MD provided some very useful insight on what the authority has been doing to curb that. He mentioned the fact that aside sensitization of boat operators and people in the riverine areas, they've also been giving life jackets to boat operators and passengers. Unfortunately, many of these operators and passengers are very comfortable using the waterways without their life jacket. As a matter of fact, I've been here for close to 1 hour, and I can notice that some of the boat users, the operators and the passengers are very comfortable using the water without their life jacket. So he talked about the fact that they've been making available this life jacket, in fact thousands of them, especially during the recent flooding in the state. Another issue that was raised was the fact that some of the operators rely on drugs. And that impairs their judgment, especially when they are using the water. He talked about the fact that the authority is working with NDLEA to address that. Of course, after the recent mishap, the state government called for stricter safety measure for operators on on this side, most parts of the state.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan.
In November,
I'm
early
sorry
November,
we have
the
to
MD
take a
talked
halt
about
from
the fact that
your live
350
inputs now. Jonathan, I'm so sorry we have to cut you short as we go over to Port Harcourt now. We are joining our outside broadcast crew for a live telecast in Port Harcourt. But before then, let's take this report first. A historic moment just unfolded in Abuja as the defunct United African States was revitalized in a press conference. Francis Form reports that leaders from across Nigeria gathered to unveil the bold vision aimed at elevating Africa's status on the global stage.
The United African States is established to, among others, promote integration and unity of Africa as enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution as amended.
We have hope to succeed as Africans.
And this press conference marked significant steps towards redefining Africa's future under the banner of A New Africa's World. The initiative envisions a continent united in purpose to achieve economic growth, development, and prosperity.
Nigeria holds the economic key of Africa. United African States have worked so much hard to make sure that we succeed in our economic challenges.
By working together, African nations can overcome historical challenges and unlock unprecedented opportunities for people.
It's our collective responsibility to support our president.
With the various nations, their government, to ensure that Africa is developed infrastructurally.
With this foundation, we hope that everybody will embrace it so that one day we shall come together to work for our mother Africa.
As the vision for A New Africa's World gains momentum, all eyes are on the United African States to deliver on its promise of unity, development, and equality. Francis from NTA News.
As earlier promoted, it's his FCT minister's birthday, and a series of activities have been lined up to celebrate the day. All right, I can see footages from Port Harcourt now as we link up with our outside broadcast crew.